Now, there are always key moments that successful programs or programs that take that next step can look back at and say, that's when it all changed. Now, for two programs with a lot of tradition in Texas A&M and Miami, this coming up Saturday has a chance to be one of those moments for either side. Now, it's no secret that A&M's been trying to break through for what seems like forever, and Miami hasn't tasted elite success in a long time. Both teams have been the butt of jokes and ridicule, but after solid Week 1 performances, even though they're against lesser opponents, this Week 2 matchup could be a huge springboard into a program-changing year. Now, A&M looked more crisp and up-tempo offensively. They looked more organized defensively than I've seen in a while. And while it was against New Mexico, if you have watched A&M long enough, you know exactly what I mean. Bobby Petrino's injected a little more arrogance and a little more fun into the offense, and they may have found their gunslinger in Connor Wegman. I wonder who was talking about him a lot during the preseason. Oh, wait, now I remember. Now, if they go down to Miami and handle business, the Aggies have the talent to get really hot and do some damage. The A&M fan base has been patient, and all that yelling in overalls is bound to pay off eventually. Now, this could be the team that Jimbo's been waiting on. Now, on the other side, while Miami has sipped from the Cup of Champions before, they've only had one double-digit win season since 2004, and their arch-rival Florida State is hotter than Joe Burrow's new fiancée right now. Now, they hired one of their own in Mario Cristobal to try and bring them back to prominence. And while year one didn't go as planned and they got absolutely boat raced by Middle Tennessee, it seems Cristobal has a team this year that is built more to his identity and in his image than last year. They're young but very talented up front. Quarterback Tyler Van Dyke looks healthy, and they seem to have Miami's speed at the skill position while being formidable on defense. Now, the truth is, Miami should strike the fear of God in their opponents when they get off the bus. And a win over an SEC team early could help the Canes garner that swagger back as they head into an ACC season where it seems to be a little more wide open outside of Florida State than we thought at the beginning. So which team will seize the opportunity? Which program will take the next step? We're going to find out this Saturday, and I don't know about you, but my ass can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about can't wait, go and intro my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn. Former David Cohn. And in a new scooter, they see him rolling.
Yeah, boy!
They hate it.
Yeah!
Patrolling and trying to catch him. Show them that trick.
What's
Show them
it?
that trick.
Catch me
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
There it is. There it is. Blake
got a little
Crane.
basket. Look,
he's
What's up? I'm putting a bell on it. I'm putting a bell on it.
Who made
too.
that for you?
Faja Pavel.
Papa made it
Papa
for
made it for me in the living room.
There he
This is 100 Deutsche Marks.
Now you know why we were trying to keep it together in the intro. Blaine was over there on his scooter just doing, X Games tricks.
Look, I'll pull up on you. You'll never even know
that
it.
scooter.
Yeah.
Or get pulled up on by a canoe. You don't hear them till they're on you.
wow.
You got to watch out for the kayaks,
Unbelievable.
too. But, all right, we're going to get to the keys to victory for the Chiefs Lions, but let's look at this A&M Miami game. We'll really dive into this thing because a lot of people obviously talking about Bama and Texas. That's a huge game. We're going to talk about it even more. We've dove into it. Texas Tech and Oregon's a big one, but this A&M Miami game, it seems like both of these programs, A&M's been, I don't know if fledgling's the word, but they haven't been able to kind of take that next step. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, and it's just one game and it's really early, and we talked about this being a springboard game during the offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor Wegman throws 5 touchdown passes. Remember, Evan Stewart didn't play in this game last year. He was suspended. Noah Thomas was a young guy last year who didn't get a lot of scratch. And it seems like with Bobby Petrino, this offense, it just makes more sense. It seems less forced. It seems less, hard for them to get in different formations and go up tempo. And then on Miami's side, Restrepo didn't play in this game last year. They seem healthier. They seem better up front. David, I just look at this. This could be the springboard game for each one of these teams to really go have a big year and take that next step.
For sure. And also, again, shout out to both of these programs for scheduling these games.
For sure.
These programs, they could have scheduled lesser opponents in the non-conference just before they get to conference play. But this is what makes college football great. Miami and Texas A&M week 2 in the non-conference. Yeah. How awesome is that, man? We may not see this type of matchup again unless they meet in the playoffs for decades.
Guys, college football season is back. The NFL is almost here. We have Major League Baseball playoffs right around the corner, and life's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code CRAIN, C-R-A-I-N, C-RAIN, you get it? New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook and only with our code CRAIN, C-R-A-I-N. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I love that you're putting high stakes on this game because I think there are high stakes. I think the stakes are a little higher for Texas A&M though, right? There are no moral victories when you play at Miami, but still, if Miami goes into this game, fights hard, keeps it close with Texas A&M, loses a close one, Mario Cristobal's so early in his tenure there and he's gotten the ball rolling that I think he could still use a close loss on the recruiting trail and they could still have a good season in the ACC, all that kind of stuff. I think Texas A&M's in a little bit different situation. You know, we've talked about Jimbo Fisher. He's not on the hot seat, but he's everyone talks about it, asks if he's on the hot seat. You bring in Bobby Petrino, how's it going to work? I think the stakes are higher for Texas A&M, and they go on the road to Miami, and boys, they look good in week one. I mean, I think Connor Wegman is the real deal. When the ball leaves his hand, it just looks different, and he can use his legs. Now, one thing that was interesting to me as I was going back through the stats is for Miami, against Miami of Ohio, 36 carries, 250 yards rushing. Yeah. That's exciting.
It's Mario Cristobal.
You're Mario Cristobal. I mean, two-time national champion at Miami in the trenches. Miami's always going to have skill players. They would never need to leave the 305 in recruiting to have great skill players. But in the trenches, Mario Cristobal played up front. He knows how important that is. 36 carries, 250 yards rushing. I think A&M in their game against New Mexico had 130 yards rushing like that. How do you think the rushing attack's going to come into play on Saturday when they face it?
Well, it's going to be huge. I mean, you know us here. We understand what wins games, and that's up front. I think the biggest matchup is Miami's offensive line. Like I said, they're young, but they're really talented, especially the tackle they have. I mean, the way that kid moves to be that size and how physically strong he is. Going up against that A&M front on defense that's healthy. Going up against guys like McKinley Jackson, right, who's had a lot of starts. Shamar Stewart. That's what I'm interested to see because I think Miami's offense more this year is built run to pass, right? They want to run to be able to, they have three backs that they're going to go to. And the play action game with Tyler Van Dyke, that's really who he is. He's a pro-style passer. Not that Connor isn't, but I think Bobby Petrino, Shannon Dawson is more what Mario Cristobal wants in an offensive coordinator. Hey, let's pound it. Let's play action. We'll take our shots. I do think they need to get the tight end more involved in this game. Talking about Miami, he had one catch last week. I think when you look at the versatility you need going up against this Texas A&M defense, and who, looking at this A&M defense playing outside of the front seven, I tell you, the more I watch this Josh DeBerry kid who transferred over from Boston College play at A&M, I think he may end up being the difference when Miami does take their shots, or if A&M's going to get some turnovers and takeaways through the air. Don't be shocked if Josh DeBerry causes a fumble, intercepts a big pass or something like that. Love the way that kid plays. He's an NFL player. But Blaine, when I look at A&M kind of flipping it, offensively, yeah, Connor Wegman threw 5 touchdowns, but what I like, if you look, the balance was there on offense, right? You look at Evan Stewart had 8 catches, 115 yards, 2 scores. Yeah. Noah Thomas had 6 catches. Anaya Smith had 3. Ja'Day Walker had 3. Moose Muhammad had 3. You had the one fumble by Evan Stewart, but A&M, it just made more sense. You look at Mari Daniels had 7 carries. Le'Veon Moss had 6 carries. Reuben Owens had 7 carries. They're able to kind of spread the wealth a little bit. And I like what Bobby Petrino did formationally, right? They were going faster. I think they were top 25 after week 1 in tempo. So I think there's a little more versatility, more imagination with Bobby Petrino and A&M's offense. But the run game for Miami is going to be crucial because for that offense to be able to operate at max efficiency, the play action game has to be big with Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah, I think one key stat in this game will be time of possession. I'm going to see who wins that and if anybody dominates that. Miami still feels like they're a year away to me. I feel like Texas A&M with the roster they have right now, I think it's realistic to say they have a better chance of winning this game. Texas A&M up front on defense is just they're a top 5 defensive line. And if you're Miami, they want to do what and do what early. Want to establish a run. This could be the ascent of Connor Wegman. If Connor Wegman comes out and balls out in this game, this could unlock the door to him maybe becoming a superstar. Because I think A&M's roster is deep enough on both sides of the ball to do something pretty special. And you go back to the first game, this is what Bobby Petrino does. 1, he'll out-formation you. 2, he knows how to isolate his best players and get in the best positions to score points. And you saw that with the 2 receivers doing what they did yesterday. So I think a big difference in this game is the guy that you hired and brought in the offseason, and that's going to be Bobby Petrino with his play calling and the way that Texas A&M is built on the front seven on defense. They're built to last. And I think Miami will try to grab a little bit too early in this game, and A&M can set up the run, and that'll only do what? Help Connor Wegman and just expand the bag of Bobby Petrino going through the ladder of this game.
Well, I think A&M's going to take shots. I think they're going to take shots.
I agree with that, actually. I agree with that. I know what you mean when you say you feel like Miami's a year away. That's why I was saying I think the Texas A&M stakes are a little bit higher. But let's just say Miami's not a year away. They have Tyler Van Dyke. Let's say he plays more within himself this year, is calmer in the pocket. Mario Cristobal, year two. We've seen year two head coaches win a lot of football games, even national championships. Let's just say if they beat Texas A&M at home this weekend, they got Bethune-Cookman next, who Memphis beat to sleep last weekend, at Temple, and then Georgia Tech at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could be looking at a 5-0 start if they can get over Texas A&M before you go on the road to North Carolina.
YouTube, we did it.
Yes.
100,000 subscribers.
Boom.
But just like Nick Saban told that reporter after he won his first natty at Bama, and they said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "I'm going recruiting." So now we want 1 million, and we want it quickly. So please subscribe, bring a friend, tell a friend to bring a friend, and we appreciate you.